Hi, and welcome to my channel. My name is Mariana, and you're watching Lucifer's Library. In today's video, we are going to be going through my recent reads. The last time I did a wrap-up video was in April, so I have a lot to catch you up on. I haven't been reading as many books per month as I normally would. I think my minimum was 5 books. 5 books in May, 5 books in June, 7 books in July, and right now it is still August, the middle of August, and I read 4 books according to my notes here. So all in all, if I did my calculations right, that would be 21 books. I know it's not the end of August yet, but I don't know how much reading I'll be able to get done, so I just wanted to film this video. Alright, here in front of me I have 21 books, and I get to take you on this journey of my own self-discovery, going through my final books on my TBR, and basically just kind of trying out different genres, but also rereading books. I've been really going through it, not gonna lie, feeling a lot better now. I'm taking a break from reading. Don't know how long it's gonna last, but I'm feeling very relaxed. So I hope that you are able to enjoy this tier ranking video where I explain my thoughts, maybe give a little insight into why I rated some of these books the way that I did. And without further ado, you know what, let's just get started. Let me take you through the rankings, shall we? First of all, we have would reread, which is self-explanatory. I would definitely reread this book in the future. I'm keeping it. 10 out of 10 experience. It is not a book that I would reread, but I still think it's very, very enjoyable, and it is a really good book. Next we have that was fun. I am glad I read it, and I am taking it as it is. It's a fun book. Next it's fine, okay. I mean, it's not bad, but it's fine. And moving on, we have It Exists. It's just there. If I hadn't read it, I would be fine. Next, it's No Thanks. I don't want to repeat this experience. And lastly, we have Just Why. Why was this necessary? Why did I read this book, you know? Okay, first book I read, and if I'm looking down, it is because I have my notes here. It is Percy Jackson and The Last Olympian. I finished my reread of the Percy Jackson series, and I think that this was probably one of my favorite books in the series. The 4th and the 5th book, the last book, were my 2 favorite books in the series. However, I would not reread them. Is it a 10 out of 10 experience? I don't think so. I rated it 4.25 stars. I mean, it was fun, but I'm at this point where I just say it's fine. I feel meh just because it's been a long time. I read it in May, so it's been a while, and all my feelings have subsided. Then I moved on to Unmasked by Paul Holes, and this is a non-fiction book about, I think, the San Francisco or the Golden State Killer. I wouldn't say it was fun because, again, it is about someone who has been, trigger warning, sexually assaulting women and, you know, killing people. So I would say it was fine. It was a good read. I rated it 4 stars. I wouldn't say it exists because it's better than just exists. Alright, moving on, we have Barbarian Lover. This one I rated 3.5 stars. I'm not sure which one this is, but according to my rating, it clearly wasn't my favorite. I think this is book 3 in the Ice Planet Barbarian series, but it's an enjoyable read. It is a sci-fi read set on a different planet where women are basically, it's like a alien version of werewolf mating. You know, your queen, this like parasite in you that is keeping you alive on this different planet, finds you a mate, and then you're mated for life, and then you have babies and whatever. I mean, not you, the characters in this book. Each book follows a different main character with a different like couple, and they all have their own journeys. So I really enjoy the series overall, but I think I rated this book 3.5 stars. I would say it's fine. No, I would say it's fun. It's a fun book. It is smutty, it is full of adventure, and it is set in a different world where you can just kind of escape the earth, and that's what I need. Up next we have The Rain, which was a reread. I rated it 4 stars. This is set in a world where the rain turns toxic and one drop can kill you. The main character would rather dye her hair, go steal some shoes, some makeup, fancy clothes in the middle of an apocalypse. Her priorities, she just she's such a teen. I love this book, but I have my frustrations with it. Rated is 4 stars, which was a star lower than the first time. And I would say it's fine. It's not, it exists, but it's fine. Illuminate. Science fiction. I had a thing about science fiction around the time, and I would say it was fun. The audiobook with the physical copy was great. I really enjoyed it, and I would definitely classify it as that was fun. Alright, starting with June, I started reading The Wedding Date by Jasmine Guillory, and I went into it thinking it was going to be a really good book. I heard a lot of mixed things. A lot of people didn't love it, a lot of people liked it. I personally right now don't really remember what I didn't like. I just know that the chemistry between the main characters was not fully what I would have liked to see, and I felt like the male character was stringing her along, not really voicing what he was feeling. But then when he was with her, he completely made a turnaround. He didn't know what he wanted, and she deserved better. But I rated it in the end 2 stars. I just didn't like it, not as much as I would have wanted, and I would say it exists. But realistically, if I'm being completely honest, I would say no thanks. I'm not gonna be a reader for everything, and you might not be a reader for everything. So I'm just saying thank you for the experience, but I'm gonna go. Then we have Under One Roof by Hazelwood. I rated this one 4.5 stars. Really enjoyed The Love Hypothesis by Hazelwood. Liked it a lot. And Under One Roof was also really good, but I wouldn't say I know I rated it 4.5 stars. I think I rated it as much as I rated The Love Hypothesis. However, I would put The Love Hypothesis in a 10 out of 10 experience. Under One Roof, although it has the same rating, I would say it was fine, it was okay. If Barbarian Lover with a 3.5 star rating can go into that was fun, no, it's fine. It is the way it is. I'm gonna leave it like that. It was an okay experience. I liked it at the time of reading it. Do I remember anything about it now? No. I just remember it was something about begrudging roommates. Neither of them wanted to be there. Neither of them wanted to give up the house, and then they ended up being together. And there was a miscommunication trope. This is also a trilogy. I have them down here as well. I'm gonna go through them later. Next up we have The Fox and the Hound by one of my favorite authors, R.S. Gray. Everyone, I rated this book 2.5 stars. Listen, I'm not just harsh on authors that I have tried for the first time. I'm also harsh on my favorite authors, and I've come to the realization that R.S. Gray and I, while her writing helped me through my grief of my grandpa and helped me through a lot of stuff in 2020, we are not vibing anymore. Just like JLA and I are not vibing, R.S. Gray and I are calling it quits. And that is fine. I am growing. Again, it's not about the books. It's about me and my journey through life. So don't take anything personally. I'm not criticizing any of these books because I just feel like everybody has different tastes. And a book that I am enjoying right now, I probably wouldn't enjoy 3 years from now. So I rated this book 2.5 stars. Where does it rank? Because Wild Wedding Date was 2 stars. The Fox and the Hound, I would say it exists. It exists. I liked that it was about a veterinarian and there was a dog in it and it was enemies to lovers. So I think it would just be okay. It exists. I would be fine if I hadn't read it. Then we have Barbarian Mind. Alright, listen, you know what we're gonna do? We're gonna put Barbarian Lover here into fine, okay. And we're putting Barbarian Mind into that was fun because that was fun. I rated it 4 stars. And I'm currently liking the rating the way this is rated. I think this is where everything is gonna stay. I think, yeah, I find Barbarians, depending on what kind of person you are and what you like, one book might be a hit, one book might be not, because it follows such a different array of characters with their different personalities and their different struggles as well. I really I'm enjoying this series so far, and it is the best thing Book Talk had ever given to me, because right now I'm struggling to trust any Book Talk review or even booktube review. I just lost faith because I lost myself. I lost my own taste. Up next, it is the last book that I read in June, which is Romancing the Duke by Tessa. I rated this book 4.5 stars. And I would say it wasn't a 10 out of 10 experience. It is historical fiction. It is something out of my comfort zone. I like historical fiction though, I really do, but I don't pick it up often. And it is a fun twist on a historical fiction. I've never read any Tessa book. It is like modern contemporary, but set in a different time. I don't know how else to explain it, but I've always felt like historical fiction was always written in such a complicated way that you had a hard time just following. But this feels more like YA fantasy books, you know, that are set in medieval times or whatever. It feels more like that. It's like more younger reader friendly, even though this has smut. Our male main character in this book is actually blind, and his associates or whatever sell his house to someone, and our female character, she actually ends up inheriting it, and they have to live together, and he doesn't want to live with her. He also lost, you know, his sight, and so he's like more like a grumpy, and she's a cheery sunshine kind of person. In July, I wanted to read quite a few books. I brought with me to Croatia a lot of books, but prior to going there, I read a few of my own before going there. I don't know where I was going with that. We have The Storm by Virginia Virgin, the second book to The Rain. This is a duology. I finished the duology, and The Storm, I wouldn't say it's I mean, it is fine, it is okay, but it also exists, you know? Sometimes some books I would be fine if I hadn't reread it. I rated it 3.5 stars. It didn't impress me. I'm fine, it's fine, let's move on. Perfect Addiction by Claudia 10. I rated this book 3 stars. It was a fun read. It was a very fast read. It is a sports romance, new adult, set in college, MMA kind of book. So if you're interested in that, I would recommend it. I'm stuck between that was fun and fine, okay. I would say that was fun because at the beginning of the book you get just thrown in. You get thrown right into the drama, and that was fun. I would admit that was a lot of fun. And I'm here for the drama, okay? I'm here for the drama. Next up we have Air of Fire by obviously Sarah J Maas. It was another reread. I am trying to get through my reread of Throne of Glass, which after Air of Fire, I've decided I'm just gonna put this on pause. I don't know when I'm gonna read the next books. I got stuck on Empire of Storms. I just need to reread Queen of Shadows to get to Empire of Storms, but at this point in time, I'm not interested in fantasy, so I think that was fun. It was fun. Air of Fire is one of my favorite books in the series, but do I want to read on right now? No. Okay, the Anthropocene Reviewed. This is one of the very few books I rated full 5 stars. And you know what? I would reread. I would reread. Last year, I said I'm never picking up any John Green book. Never, ever, ever. And when it comes to his fiction, you know what? I'm not gonna pick up any of his books. But this book made me feel so hopeful. It made me feel like everything is dark, but there is light at the end of the tunnel, and it made me feel like I should just embrace the bad, because there's always the little things that you should pay attention to in life, the little things that are so precious. So yeah, I absolutely adore this book. One of my favorite books I've read this year, if not my favorite book of the year. And I don't say this lightly, because I've had a lot of bad reads this year, and I've been a lot more critical when it comes to books. So that's a very high praise from me. Next we have Stuck With You. I rated 2 stars. Then now we're coming to Ali Hazelwood. in my doubt whether I enjoy her writing. Like I said, I thought when I read The Love Hypothesis that Ali Hazelwood is going to be one of my favorite authors. I'm going to read everything from her, from Under the Roof or this like trilogy, to the Feminist trilogy, to any other books that she releases. I'm a little bit concerned because she loves her men big and her women small. Tiny. So that's a little bit, okay, you do you. But I rated the second book. The second book was, I didn't like it. It's called Stuck With You. It is about two people getting stuck in an elevator, I think. And I would say no thanks. I regret spending time on this book. Okay, then we have Below Zero, which is the third book and the last book in this trilogy. And this is a different story. Like Under One Roof, I rated Below Zero 4.5 stars. This one was fun, so I'm going to be putting it in the same category as Under One Roof, because I think this is where it deserves to go. I will go through all these categories in the end just to see if something doesn't make sense. I know that I said just why and, you know, 10 out of 10 experience, and we've not gotten to there yet. I didn't go through the list prior to filming this video. I just wanted to be my most authentic self and give you my honest reviews right now, unprepared, completely uncensored. I didn't know how I was gonna rank these, but I would rather have more categories than less. The Body Keeps the Score by Bessel van der Kolk, and this is a nonfiction book about PTSD, and as someone who was really just struggling, just going through it on her vacation in Croatia, this book helped me a lot. I was just really struggling with emotional numbness, and you know, I felt very triggered and very like I was in survival mode, and I couldn't relate to any book, which I'm still going through that phase where I'm unable to focus and concentrate on the contents and connect with things on a deeper level. But this book helped me kind of realize that the one thing that I've been doing, which is suppressing my emotions, not letting myself feel and avoiding, is also the one thing that is making me so numb, because the brain can't tell the difference between happy and sad memories. So they are just intense memories, and when you feel like you're really sad and you suppress that emotion, sooner or later when you're gonna feel really good, the brain is gonna suppress that emotion as well, so you will just feel emotionally numb. So I've been trying to do more yoga, meditate, letting myself feel, and this book also helped me just give me some tips on a lot of the stuff, or made me understand a lot of the stuff that I've been going through. So yeah, it's helped me a lot, and I wouldn't say that was fun because it's not fun, but I would say it's fine, okay. It wasn't fun reading about PTSD and so many survival stories. It's not fun. Moving on to the books that I read in the 18 days of August. The first book I read is A Curse so Dark and Lonely. I started it when I was in Croatia, then I went home and I finished it. I rated 3.75 stars. The first half of the book was decent, but it went downhill in the second half of the book, or in the twist towards the end. I didn't like the twist, and therefore I do not want to finish the series or continue. I am happy that I read it, but I would also say, I would say it's fine, it's okay. I wouldn't say it exists because I am happy that I read it, but yeah, it's not my favorite fairy tale retelling. I've read better Beauty and the Beast retellings. Then we have Buddha and the Rose. This is a picture illustration, a children's picture book. It is so lovely. It reminds me that we should be appreciative of everything that we have, because everything that is around us found a way to be. The life around us wouldn't be possible without the trees, without the air that we breathe, the oxygen, without the water that we have. It wouldn't be possible without the sun, and so much had to go right for us to be here in this moment. And you are special as well because you are here. You made it. You found a way to be here, you know? And so it just makes me so appreciative, and I love the illustrations. So I think it would, I would say it's a 10 out of 10 experience, because at the time, on the day that I read this book, I was feeling really meh. And this book was like a meditation, like a 10-minute meditation. I really loved it. I love the story. And so yeah, 10 out of 10 experience. Alright, 2 books left. We have I'm Glad My Mom Died by Jeanette Mccurdy. And I didn't give this book any rating because I don't tend to rate nonfiction, and this is a really heavy book. I wouldn't say that was fun because it wasn't fun. It was a hard read, and I would say it's fine, it's okay. It's not my favorite just because it's a very, very heavy read. It's not in the category where it's a mediocre book, you know? It's not a mediocre book. I enjoyed it, but I wouldn't label it fun. Alright, and the final book is Wicca for Beginners, Guide to Real Wiccan Beliefs and something something. I can never remember the full title, I'm so sorry. It is written by Gillian Nolan. I didn't rate it. Again, nonfiction. It is 50 pages long, and I would say it exists. It exists. It's there. I would be fine if I hadn't read it. I've read a lot of other Wiccan books that are better. I have one in physical copy as well that I really enjoy. That is my tier rating list. Let's see if I would change anything. Listen, I might put Illuminate there. Illuminate was a good book just because it's so different from what I'm used to. So I would put it maybe there. And the others, I think I'm just fine with them being there. Yeah, I think they found a place where they belong. These are just some of my recent reads. I cleared out my Goodreads library. I cleared out some of my physical library books. And a lot of these books were for a specific readathon or for bookish prompts. I'm just glad that I went through them. And yeah, it made me realize that some of my favorite authors are not my favorite authors anymore, and I should really be careful with what I buy from now on, and I should read the descriptions of books that I buy, because I used to buy books simply because of a pretty cover or because someone on booktube said, oh, this book is so good, you should read it, and then I ended up realizing that I'm not interested in it, that I don't like the tropes that are happening in the book, that I don't feel comfortable reading something. It is what it is. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye!